Welcome back to the series where I use my direct response marketing expertise to break down a sales funnel. I want to see what's working, what's not working, what could be improved, and what's okay. Now, as always, I don't have access to the performance data, so it's all speculation. However, it is speculation that comes from what I know to have worked on other projects and what has sunk other projects. So I don't know for sure if something is performing or underperforming. It is merely sharing with you what I see. Now, for starters, yes, I'm burnt as shit. I was out in the sun. I'm basically in the desert right now, and I'm filming this from that location. So let's begin. I got this ad right here with Shrimp. I apologize. I can't say that name at all. But it's a very simple ad today. Now, this ad says we're getting 1 million views per month on Instagram using carousels. So I built the exact tool we use to structure them. Carousel Studio generates high converting carousels in seconds. If you've been following my content and want to create posts that actually convert, beta access is $99 right now. That's very direct and to the point. And I mean, yeah, very solution aware audience, $99. Here it is. Part of me wonders if that's going to dissuade people, and that might just be intentional. Maybe they don't want anybody who's going to spend less than that because they've got tools on the back end that they're going to sell, or they know from experience that this generates. I can tell you this, $100 buyer is typically the best buyer that you can get. And they will buy a lot of your other stuff, your upsells, your high ticket, all of that kind of thing. However, it's a matter of can I incur the cost? Because that is a high price tag for somebody who may not know you. Now, maybe this person has a brand, Pengte. I think I said that correctly. Maybe Shruti has a brand that I'm unaware of, and it's quite a popular brand, but I don't think so. So, um, I wonder if they're just validating this offer right now. That's what my instinct tells me is that they're just validating this offer right now. But it's got quite a few likes, some comments. So not that that translates into revenue, but it does show people. It's like, hey, we have something. It works. Here you go. So let's go click learn more. There's not too much I can say for the ad. Create carousels in minutes, not hours. Stop spending 3+ hours on a single carousel. Our AI generates scroll stopping, conversion optimized Instagram carousels ready to post in under 30 seconds. They could have frankly taken that and run that as an ad. Like they could have just taken that and kind of woven that in. They could have addressed some of the problems that people are facing because this audience is clearly already running Instagram ads, right? We're getting 1 million views on our Instagram using carousels. But it doesn't really speak to, are they doing it for business purposes? Are they doing it because they want to grow their following? Do they, just because you have a large following on Instagram or social media or YouTube, it doesn't translate into revenue necessarily. So if they wanted to generate a better buyer, I suspect they could have been more specific with their language, but perhaps because it's a beta, they're keeping it deliberately open. They're deliberately casting a wide net, and they don't really care if they lose a little bit of money. They don't care if they break even. And obviously, as we know with most low ticket funnels, the purpose is just to acquire a client. It's not even to make a profit. If you make a profit, that's great. But for the most part, if you acquire a client, that's a great deal, even if you're at a little bit of a loss, because you can just keep selling to them, right? If you get them for the lifetime, if they're on a subscription, you could just keep selling to them. So that's terrific. The price is right up here, and they weren't shy about including the price in the ad and telling you what it was. I suspect that but again, this is the trade-off. If you don't reveal the price until the end, they are forced effectively to consume this material. They have to consume the video, they have to consume the landing page copy, and then get to the end and then see what the price is. I would be curious to see what an experiment with just including the VSL would be like. It's a very short VSL by most stand. I mean, 10-minute VSL, especially as of a couple of years ago, is pretty short. I used to bang out 10-minute VSLs. I could just write those things and they'd be awesome. And they're very persuasive. However, they're typically for a more solution-aware audience. They're not really for educating. They're more for people who they know what they want or they've tried other things. They're more they know what's in the market already, so to say. So that's something I might have, but for the 99 price point, I think it would have been okay. That's something they could experiment with. Sound familiar? Yeah, I guess they're referring to that stuff up there, spending hours. They could have blown up this text. This text is way too small, in my opinion. They could have blown it up just a little bit. So it's a readability issue. Everything you need to go viral. We got 50, blah, 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 blah. So again, very solution aware. Like, here's what it is. Here's what you're getting. Clone mode. Um, yeah, so see it in action. I really think that if they put the 99, and maybe they have a version of this where they do put the $99 price tag at the bottom, I think that would have generated a better quality buyer. It might not have generated as many buyers. I don't know that for sure, but if somebody consumes all of this, you know that they're serious about your product. You know that they're going to be a better customer if they are doing their research, they're educating themselves, they get the product because they weren't dissuaded by the price tag. It wasn't a matter, yes, the price is important, don't get me wrong, but they read all of this and like this was the most important stuff to them. So they're effectively agreeing to the method by which by this person, delivers a result. And here's how it works. Here's what it does. Full carousel is ready to post. What I would add to this is maybe they do it up here somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. But they're making claims about the nature of how much engagement and comments and shares and the like. It's like it goes viral, right? Their carousels go viral. So cool. They have the carousel here, a full carousel ready to post. But how if they wanted to have like a bit of a case study, they could put the numbers below it. So I think running this as a case study would also be very persuasive because you're showing that you practice what you preach, you're using the thing that you're trying to sell, and it's going to get you results. And it's good that we have the average, like this is all important. Okay, 60 seconds average generation time, great. It saves me time. It generates a lot of carousels in that time frame. But what do I really want to know? Is it going to be shit or not? Is it going to be shit or not? And if it's not shit, that's a great trade-off. But yeah, maybe you're hypothetically saving me time and maybe even money when it comes to generating the carousels. But if I have to go back in and fix it, like that's not real great either. So I think that's one of the persuasive elements that's missing here is how many, and again, maybe I'm just not seeing it. Maybe it's in the video here. I don't know if I can capture sound in the video through the software that I'm using, so I'm not going to try it. But I'm not seeing it here. And that's one thing I think is missing from this piece. So that's something I would put. Yeah, I'd be curious to know how this is performing. Of course, if you happen to be the person, Shruti, if you want to share your data with me, that's great. It's totally private. I wouldn't share it with anybody else. But I would be curious to see how this is performing and what your experience with your buyers is like. I think that's the main thing here. Yeah, very straightforward, very to the point. I think a bit of a shorter video today. I'm not keeping track of the time, but that is what I'm seeing in this type of funnel for $100 effective price tag.